morning, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 8, Episode, 21, DJI Mini 5 Pro on FCC Database. I'm going to greet everybody here. Let's see who all. I know we got a full house already. Wow. Yeah, you guys have been on time here. Joe America, Josh is here, Drone Shot, Sakurasho, Giggles FPV, and by the way, you have a wrench now. Let's see who else. Warren, welcome. Let's see. Johnny's here. Welcome, Johnny. John's here. Welcome, John. Zach, welcome, Zach. Art, welcome, Art. Richard, welcome, Richard. CT Pirate, Waypoint, New England. Trini, welcome, Trini. Jay, welcome. Good to see you. Lynn Smith, welcome. Michael Wright, welcome. Well, I want to give everybody, first of all, we're going to do a bill update here because you need an update. Here's my teeth. These are temporary teeth until my implants heal, and that's probably looking 3 to 4 months down the road is when that happens. All in all, you know, right now what I'm dealing, one of the big things I'm dealing with right now is when they do the surgery, one of the things they didn't tell you is your lips get cut and get really dry and stuff, and that's what I'm trying to overcome. That I'm using Blistex, and it's making a difference, but it's taking its time. The other thing for me, on Monday, was it Monday? No, it was Sunday night. I was getting ready to have some kind of snack, and then I felt something on my lip, and all of a sudden I was bleeding, and it was bleeding. And what I did was I got out a caffeinated tea bag, got it wet, wring it out, put it back on there. Tannic acid in tea is a coagulant, and within a matter of minutes it stopped and everything was okay. What we think happened, and we called my dentist. My dentist has been great because he's given me his personal cell phone number, and that was absolutely fantastic because I texted him, and 20 minutes later he got back, and there's what they call a gel plug that they put all the way in the back because they're doing surgery top and bottom and stuff, and it probably fell out, and that's okay. He said that's okay that it fell out, and that's probably what was causing the bleeding. He said, keep the tea bag in for an hour, and I did, and it stopped, and thank goodness it was okay. So I've been kind of gentle yesterday and today. You're supposed to be doing like a warm salt water rinse, and I kind of passed on that the past couple of days. So that's kind of where that's at. The other thing is I want to thank, there's so many of you have reached out to me individually about how I was doing. I can't thank you guys enough for that. It really means a lot to me. It really does. The other thing with all this is soft foods, and meaning these are for show, not for go, meaning there's no chewing with these. All right. This is just kind of like a placeholder until my implants heal, and then I can chew. But up until now, and things, you know, I'm a big soup person, so that's been good. I have had mashed potatoes, gravy, Jello, applesauce, but got creative in the grocery store refrigerated section. They have meatballs and tomato sauce, and so I've been mashing those down. And as long as you know, I have to put them past my teeth, and it's been going down pretty good. Crumble coffee cake has been real good. I'm going to have some meatloaf as well. That's a good thing. So, you know, it's being creative with this, and I've already lost 7 pounds from this. So that's going to be good. So, Dr. Ted, welcome. Thank you for stopping by tonight. Talking has been a little different. It's been a little bit of a challenge for me to start to do the talking. Well, I had a weekend. The surgery was on a Friday, but my temporaries weren't ready until Monday, so I had to go the weekend without any teeth at all. And it was really difficult to talk. I mean, it was, well, it was, I could talk, but it was hard. I had to speak real slowly and everything. So, and one of the other things I want to say is this, um, I can't thank my wife enough. You guys know her. I know a lot of you know, a lot of you have met her. Um, yeah, I might get teary eyed. She took exceptional care of me, and I mean exceptional care of me. It was just, I can't say enough about how well she's treated me. And as far as pain is concerned, what I did was every 6 hours I took 4 Advil liquid gels, and then a half hour after that I took 2 extra strength Tylenol gels. And the reason gels absorb just like that immediately. And I did that. I didn't take any of my prescription pain medication at all, which was great. I bought a headband ice pack from Amazon with gel packs that freeze. And for the first 2 days, I had that on all the time. You know, I'd seen pictures because I'm on a couple of groups of Facebook. These people just turn massive black and blue all over here, down into your chest, everything. Nothing. I've been very, very, very fortunate. Well, one of the only things that's bothering me right now is next Monday I'm going in and they're going to snip any the stitches that they see that are exposed. They're going to do some snipping and do some inspection and a little bit of cleaning and things. But yeah, I can feel it on the roof of my mouth. It feels like a little bit of food on the roof of my mouth right now. But I ignore it. And you know, and it's getting used to this because there's something in my mouth right now. It's kind of foreign. It's a little different. For the first time today, I brushed my teeth, if anything. So, but yeah, that's where things are. I know I don't want to bore all you guys with all this stuff, but like I said, I really thank you for all the well wishes, positive thoughts, prayers, everything. They meant a lot to me. And thank you guys for watching the replay last week. I did that on here. I did that on my ham radio channel as well, too. Put out a replay as well, too, because, you know, last week was, I took 4 out of 5 days off from work last week. I mean, it was, yeah, that's the other thing. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I really do. So again, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate that. Ron's going to join us here in just a few, but again, thank you all so much for your well wishes and everything. And, you know, we've had some great weather, and unfortunately it's just, I mean, last little bit here. The surgery started about 8 a.m. I think they were done about 3 in the afternoon. Yeah, it was that long. And I think I woke up during part of it and they put me back out. And yeah, it was, wow. Friday was a blur. It was a total blur. So, but yeah, thank you all again. Okay. All right. Actually got several things to talk about here. And the first thing is, the DJI Mini 4 Pro was on sale. It was on sale yesterday. I'm not sure if the sale's still good, but I'm just going to put this article up here. Memorial Day sale, save big on DJI Mini 4 Pro drone. I think they were selling the Mini 4 combo plus with RC2 is down to $1,099 for Memorial Day. And I think that probably ended yesterday. But I think it had been up there for a couple of days, which was that's a great deal. That is an absolutely fantastic deal. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, go out to Amazon. I think the link was on Amazon, so go ahead and check that out. I'm gonna take a quick look here and see. Yeah, it's back up to $1,549. So that's kind of gone by the wayside. But all in all, I mean, like I said, that was a good deal. And you need to jump on those when they come out and when you see them. I mean, that's one of these things that you can't hesitate on. So, so good deal for that. We're going to talk about coming up. So we got several things. We're going to talk about the Mavic 4 Pro availability in the USA, an update on that, an update on warranty for that as well too, if you purchase it from an overseas, you know, supplier. And then we're going to talk about the big news about the Mini 5 Pro being on the FCC database. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. It really does feel good to be back with all you guys. It really does. And I'm getting used to these teeth. So pardon me if you see a little bit more. I'm really trying. I'm trying to adjust to these. So, okay. Let's see what else we're going to do. All right. Well, let's see here. Okay. There was another article here. Well, it looks like there's another sale going on right now, and it's the Mini 4K. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. DJI Mini 4K drone drops to $249 in limited time deal. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up on Amazon, and it is still $249. So if this is something that would interest you, you may want to jump on that. That's an absolute great price. The original price on that is $299. So that's something you may want to go ahead and consider if you've been in the market for one. It's just, it's too good of a deal to pass up. Now, remember the Cogito Mini as well too is the same. It's exactly the same drone, and I think they're about the same price. So just want to let you guys know that. So that is available, and that is through Amazon, and it's $249. I mean, that is something that you want to jump on. It's gotten down lower than that, but only once. At $249, that's $50 off. So that may be something that you want to consider. That's a great price for that. Absolutely fantastic. So there's been so much talk and discussion about the Mavic 4 Pro, and we're gonna get up to that. And it's just, yeah, there's a lot. I got a lot to say about that. But the first thing, one of the things I found on Drone DJ today, this article, apparently DJI had another FCC release. DJI is going to be releasing a lot of product coming up here. Just want to let you guys know that. Osmo Nano FCC filing teases DJI's smallest camera yet. A new product called the DJI Osmo Nano has just surfaced in the FCC database. And if the name is anything to go by, could be DJI's smallest action camera yet. The Nano label suggests something ultra compact, and the timing couldn't be more telling. Products listed in the FCC usually launch within weeks to a few months, making the filing a clear sign that DJI is ready to make waves in the small action camera market again. Okay, it has listing right here. It really doesn't. You really don't know a whole lot about this. This one could be a dual lens device that could take on the GoPro Max, a new Insta360 X5, whispers of a large 1/1/3 sensor, possibly pushing image quality beyond anything else in the 360 space. While the Osmo Nano and Osmo 360 potentially launching soon, DJI appears poised to stretch its Osmo lineup at both ends, going smaller and wider than ever before. I mean, that's pretty incredible. So stay tuned. There's going to be more information coming up on that. You know, one of the things that I can tell you, DJI is really on an accelerated marketing schedule right now. Maybe because of the drone ban, I don't know, but they're going full guns. And pay attention, keep your head on a swivel. Watch us on Tuesday nights. We'll get you up to date on this. You know, we'll keep you in the loop. So stay tuned right here. Yeah, you know what, Zach? I don't know if it's going to or not. I mean, it's just, you know, when they do these FCC filing releases, a lot of times, you know, what you can tell and what I could tell, I would actually do a deep dive in them. I used to. I don't do that right now because we have Jasper Ellens and Igor that do all that. But one of the things that I used to do was go out there and look at the frequencies, and I compared the frequencies of controllers because that's usually the first thing. Again, you know, there's any type of communication protocol. That's why it gets out on the FCC database, and that's why we're seeing these things right now, because there's going to be some type of Bluetooth on here, Wi-Fi capabilities. So that's why you see these things. But I mean, it's a clearest indication that there's going to be product coming out, and it's going to be coming out sooner rather than later. I mean, you know, I don't know when, but you know, Trini, I agree, and we're going to talk a little bit about that coming up here. You know, that's one of the things one of the things that I wanted to focus on. But yeah, they're talking about it's going to be a small action camera. Not how small it's going to be. Probably going to be smaller in the Action 2, I would think. And size-wise, capabilities, who knows? Okay. All we know is that there's an FCC filing. Stay tuned. When we get more on that, we'll let you guys know. One of the things, there was a firmware update for the DJI Flip, and there he is.
Good evening, Bill. How are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, Ron. How are you?
Good. Your recovery's going good?
Going good. Better than we had a little crisis the other night, but we averted that. So with a caffeinated tea bag, believe it or not. It acts as a coagulant. I believe it's tunic is the chemical, and it stopped my bleeding right away, and I've been fine. So just really haven't been pushing the outer edge of the envelope, as they say. So being careful with stuff.
How's your eating coming along?
Better. I'm finding some things that I can eat besides soup, which is good. Like I went to the store in the refrigerated section. I bought some meatballs in tomato sauce and mashed those up.
Okay.
And I'm going to have meatloaf tomorrow. As long as I can mash things up, I can eat it. We went out to eat twice. I had salmon and mashed potatoes, and that went real well as well, too. So I have some variety of things that I can get. Although I got to say this, I'm missing things like chips. Like chips and pretzels and things like that. Not that I snacked on them all the time, but in between meals, it was kind of nice to have something to munch on, and I kind of missed that. So, but that'll be here sooner rather than later. Right. Just talked about the FCC filing for the DJI Nano. So, and again, there's nothing really more on it than just a filing for it. And, it's probably going to be a smaller camera, but we don't know. I mean, there's absolutely no information on it. Igor and Jasper have no information on it. So that's kind of where we're at with that. But there's a lot
outside of that. Maybe it'll be a smaller form factor like the Action 2.
Mm-hmm.
The name gives it away. And, I don't jump in this right away, Bill, but I'm going to do it anyways. Do you think, I don't think we've seen any camera slowdowns yet from DJI. Do you expect their new cameras to be able to come through with no issues?
Yeah, I really do. Because again, the only reason they get approved by the FCC is because they either have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. And that's the only, because, they both use radio waves for protocol. And that's why these FCC filings, of course, the drones are different. We all know that. So I don't see there's going to be
the Action 5 Pro got through last fall. Okay. With no issues.
Yeah. I don't see there's going to be any problem with those, to be honest with you. Okay. I think they'll come through without any issues here. Now, one of the things I was just about to talk about this here, and the DJI Flip had a firmware update, and they added dolly zoom to it.
Right. And I had a conversation with Mark. Is this the first DJI drone since the Mavic 2 Zoom that had dolly zoom?
Okay. Wow. Okay. That's very interesting. Skin tone enhancement in photo mode and video mode give a more lifelike and flattering result in real world lighting. DJI notes the camera settings will reset after the firmware is installed, so users should double check their preferences before taking off. The dolly zoom effect, once reserved for professional level gear, lets users create a cinematic warping background effect while keeping the subject centered, perfect for storytelling or content creation on the go. So, but
so I believe the first drone I owned that had dolly zoom was the Parrot Anafi.
The Anafi, yep. Oh yeah, I was going to say the Anafi. Remember, the Anafi got advertised and build is having that. So,
Warren's mentioned in Air Photography did a little video on the too small tutorial on the dolly zoom already. He did.
Well, I'm going to do a little bit of an update on availability on the Mavic 4 Pro, and it's still the same. There's been no changes on that. But one of the things that I wanted to call to everybody's attention is this. I know our friend Zach bought one over in South Korea. Right. And I actually, because I'm on eBay, I actually messaged the seller and I asked them a question about warranty, okay, and what's going on with that, and I wanted to share this with everybody to kind of give you a perspective on if you're going to go ahead out and buy these drones. Now, where Zach got his from, it's one of the lowest prices out there. All right. And they have pretty close.
There's a couple of these South Korea sellers out there on eBay.
Right. This one actually had, it was $3,500 for the creator combo, which was less than everybody else that was out there.
Right.
Now, here's what they said when I asked them the question. The product was released by DJI Korea and is not covered by the global warranty, but you can sign up for the DJI refresh plan after receiving the product. There is a 1-year warranty period provided by our store. If defect occurs in the product within 1 year after receiving the product, please let us know and we will assist you with repairs or solutions. Please note the cost may apply if consumables need to be replaced or repairs are required due to customer negligence. 10% discount is applied automatically. We have sold many DJI products in the United States and haven't had an issue with customs yet. It's expected that no taxes will be incurred. Thank you. And I know Zach said the same thing as well too with that. When he got it, he said there were no taxes. And Zach, thank you for communicating with me about that. But
I think Zach also reported that when he got the drone, he was able to activate it through DJI through normal channels, and he was able to register with the FAA or DroneZone.com, but it never gave him the option to buy Care Refresh when he activated it, like normally you do when you buy a DJI drone from DJI.
Right, and that's kind of, I know that, and this is who Zach bought it off of, because I went out there and they were selling them. They were getting them in like 10 at a time, and they would sell out just like that. Yeah,
and the the premium package, of course, is selling real fast. It's easy to snag the I'm going to call it the standard bundle.
Right. Yeah. And what I kind of suggested to some people who have messaged me, if I were to do this right now, I would get the standard bundle, and you can go out, because I know Adorama and B&H, Adorama had them in stock, but they're out now. B&H is going to get them in stock, the RC Pro 2, to buy it separately from that, because I think you can save some money if you go out there and just get the base model here. So
I won't cut you off, but Alex Escardo put a comment in the chat. It's the most recent comment. He says, someone I know had to pay fees to DHL to receive the shipment. Not sure what the fees are for.
Interesting.
I believe the person Alex is talking about, I believe there are somebody who ordered from South Korea, but he'll have to say that, for sure. Zach got a spare battery today. Well, that's I'm going to go right back to you. So what you're saying is recommend getting the standard bundle and then adding another battery to that down the road.
Right. And because I've actually seen out on Adorama, things like prop guards, batteries, propel props, all of them are in stock and you can purchase them right away, and they're available to ship immediately
to U.S. customers.
To U.S. customers. So, I would say that would be the way to go. Alex, there are several out there.
And Bill, also, I don't know if it's still there, but I looked I think this morning, and on Amazon, and somebody was selling the, what do they call the highest kit? The one where you get the good
creator combo.
Creator combo. Somebody was selling that on Amazon, but it was a third-party seller, of course, and they had it marked up over $5,000.
Yeah, I think that's about $1,500 more than what the price is.
Yeah, and somebody even has, I think it's Amazon themselves, has the RC-2 Pro controller. I probably said that backwards, on there too, for $12.99, which seems to be the actual correct price, but the shipping date's December 27th.
Okay. Yeah. That's probably, and what I had heard some, I've been keeping my ear to the ear to the pavement. And one of the things that I heard was people said there's a possibility that DJI could be releasing this on June the 1st, the Mavic 4 Pro. But another person said, don't hold your breath on that. So,
Right.
So who knows?
And of course, the advantage of that would be, of course, you could get your care refresh if you order directly from DJI, but you may have to pay the tariff prices, so you'd actually be paying more than you would from these South Korean sellers. Now, of course, Adorama and BH Photo, their prices reflect some kind of a higher tariff. They're much higher than the Korean sellers, because I think Korea only has a 10% tariff. South Korea, I keep saying Korea. South Korea only has a 10% tariff.
Yeah, so it's not, the pricing is very favorable with these ones from South Korea, but I wanted to make everybody aware. And Zach, thank you for sharing the information that you did, because I wanted to make people aware, if they're going out there and they're purchasing these from other countries, that about the warranty situation. Now, they're fortunate that this company will actually honor things within the first year, which is great.
Bill, would your, of course, with DJI, you get a 1-year warranty even without buying care refresh. Will DJI honor that 1-year warranty that comes with all their drones if you buy from another country and bring it to the U.S.? Is there a standard 1-year warranty still in place?
I was told no.
Okay,
I was told no.
Yeah,
So,
and while we're on that subject, I know, Bill, you have some experience with this. Okay, say I did purchase the Mavic 4 Pro and brought it over here, and a lot of people said, well, they get the State Farm insurance. And I know that if the drone, say, if you have a crash and destroy it, they'll give you the money to buy another one. But what if you don't? What if you need help, but you didn't have a total accident? What if just like a motor won't spin or something like that? How does State Farm help you if you didn't have a total? If you didn't, what do they call it in a car when a car gets total? If you did total drone, if you just had a small problem, would State Farm be able to help you out, Bill?
probably not, because it's either they replace the whole drone or that's it.
It's all or nothing. So if your motor if you have a motor doesn't work right, you might as well just crash into the wall.
Yeah, exactly. And you see what Zach said here. Wasn't too worried about getting care refresh because I've never bought it. Been flying for 10 years and crashed only one time. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, Zach.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I mean, I'm with Zach. Same thing with Zach. I've never had a crash of anything but a little toy drone that didn't fly well. But without DJI support, you're shelling out. Say you shell out $3,500 for the creator combo, and the first time up in the air, a bird hits it or whatever and destroys it. There's $3,500 is in the wind or whatever, because you have no type of insurance. I mean, DJI is not covering the 1-year warranty, and you don't have State Farm, so it's not a what do you call it? It's not an easy solution answer. I don't know what the answer would be. To whether you should get the State Farm. It is how. How does State Farm insure it? By the year, by the month, 6 months?
By the year. You pay a yearly premium on that,
and is a percentage of the price of the drone.
I really don't know how their adjusters figure out the premium. I know I have a boatload of things under my policy. I have all my drones, actually have my computers, my monitors, everything. I pay like $349 a year, but like I said, I have a lot more than just my drones under that. But it is $349 for the year.
Even for an expensive drone like the Mavic 4, it would still be no more than buying care refresh then, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So it's either if on a normal drone purchase you can buy care refresh. Or, in more often than not, 9 times out of 10, I've gone with State Farm versus getting care refresh. Now, I've gotten it a couple of times, but you know what, Ron? I've never had a claim. And because I've never had a claim, I'm like, you know what? I'm very leery on being able to do something like that. But something is real interesting, and it's kind of like a side note here. I'm big on HP computers. I really like them, and they've been real good with me. And I always bought their extended warranty. And what happens after 3 years, if you don't file a claim, you get that money back. They give you a refund for that, which I think is fantastic. It's like, why not? I mean, get that money back. It's been absolutely fantastic. So, and You get it back.
No,
It's not
no,
a gift card or anything. You actually get it back. So, I mean, that's a
no,
good thing.
that definitely makes sense. So if I did buy from one of these third-party companies, I probably would get the State Farm. Again, even if I had a not even a total disaster, whatever, maybe I would turn into a total disaster, to get to get the money back.
Yeah,
Everything
exactly.
is perfect. Did you see? I don't mean to get you off rails, and I won't talk about this too much. But Darren, what's Darren's the English droner? I forget his channel name. He's a pretty big channel. The guy that had the Mini 4 Pro before he made the videos before that. DM Productions. Thank you. Thanks. Somebody said that to me. He put a video out today where he compared the footage from the Air 3S and the Mavic 4 Pro. And I would have told you before I didn't see much difference, but he actually showed that there was a pretty good difference between the two video qualities in the main camera and in the 3x 70 millimeter camera. You could see a significant difference that the Mavic 4 Pro was superior.
Oh, Casey Kernfighter, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's it's you deal with it's kind of like you pick your poison in terms of how much money you want to spend and what you can get from it. And and I've looked at it, and I've done a lot of investigating, and from now on I don't think I'm going to go with Care Refresh, because I think DJI is just making a lot of money, to be honest with you with that. I'm going to be going with State Farm. And State Farm, the claim process is super easy with them. I mean, just super easy. It couldn't be easier. You do have to provide them with a copy of your invoice or bill of sale and serial information when you get it. And, and then in about a week or so, you get approved, and that's it. I mean, that's the only thing I've had to go through. And that's with anything that I've insured with State Farm, my computers, everything, a bill of sale and serial number, and you're good to go. And that's why I've done it.
The only downside is if you just have a kind of a minor issue, it's not really doing you any good. But I mean, when I say a minor issue that prevents the drone from flying.
Yeah, exactly.
So where if you had Care Refresh, they would send it into DJI, and if it was something minor like a motor wouldn't spin, they basically would fix it for you for free. I mean, of course, you paid the Care Refresh, but I mean, you would have a problem like a motor didn't spin, set in, be back in 2 weeks. It didn't cost you anything. Where State Farm, you couldn't really say, well, the drones doesn't work anymore. I mean, the drone's a total write-off or whatever, because it's not. So that's the only sticking point there. Yeah, Mike has a good point. Whether we can get it repaired by a DJI dealer in the U.S., like maybe they'll say, "Well, we don't touch Mavic 4 Pros in the U.S."
And that's a good point, Michael. Thank you for sharing that.
It's just a lot of questions, Bill, that we won't know for weeks, for months, or whatever. If the Mavic 4s continue not to be sold in the U.S. And we really don't know, Bill. It could be sold tomorrow. It could be sold June 1st. It could be sold 6 months from now. It could be sold never. We just don't know.
We just don't know. And, and because we're going to be talking about coming up here, one of the other things I want to talk about with the Mavic 4 Pro before we get onto the Mini 5, one of the things that I wanted to say is this, okay? And I know there's been a lot of videos about why all this is happening, and people have gotten into all kind of speculation and things and everything. And this decision not to sell in the United States is not from anybody here in the United States. It is DJI's decision, period. Okay. They are the ones that have decided we're not selling in the United States at this point in time. So I've asked them point blank several times. I've messaged them. I've sent them texts or messages out on X, on Twitter, and the response I've gotten back is, this is our decision at this time. We will let you know when it will become available in the United States. That's all that they say. It's pretty much a canned response. But any video that you see, and there's been a lot out there that are saying, oh, it's because of the forced labor situation with the Uyghurs, or it's because of the tariff, or it's because, people are trying to blame the current administration and everything. Don't go there, okay? Because this is 100% DJI's decision. It has nothing to do with what what's going on here in the United States. DJI has made a conscious decision not to sell this in the United States at this time. Okay, period. I mean, it has nothing to do with anything that you're seeing out there from all these other videos. Okay, do they contribute to it? I mean, this is DJI's decision. This isn't anything that we have done here.
And it's probably a business decision because so many Air 3Ss and whatever were denied entry at customs port. They were losing how much money, Bill, having to have those all sent back to them.
Oh yeah, I mean they were losing thousands
in customs ports, especially Miami. They made a conscious business decision not to lose money sending drones to the U.S. that may not get to their customers who paid for them.
Yeah, I mean, so I mean they made a business decision, right or wrong, and that's where things are. If things change, we'll be the first to know. They'll come out there and they'll say, guess what, Americans, you'll be able to buy your DJI Mavic 4 Pro. Okay. But, and I'm also going to say this too, before we move on to the Mini 5 Pro discussion here. I go back to something my good friend, Original Dobo, said about maybe 4 or 5, even more years ago. Enjoy what you have. Okay. And I know Josh and several others talk about the Air 3S. What an incredible drone that is. Okay. I mean, seriously, what can't that drone do? Okay. It has advanced, obstacle avoidance, night vision on it. The LiDAR, the LiDAR, the camera on it is exceptional. The runtime is exceptional on it. I mean, and here's what I would say, if I was considering anything right now, okay, and I'm not, and I've made the decision, I am not buying a Mavic 4 Pro overseas. Okay. Unless they become available here in the United States, I'm not making that purchase. All right. Number one. Number two, I may, and this is something I've been considering, I may purchase like the RC Pro 2 from Adorama. Okay. Because they're going to back it. All right. It's a United States company. They're going to back it. And if I have any issues, I can deal with it. And same with B&H. All right. Because you guess what drone that works with? That works with the Mini 4 Pro, and that's going to work with the Air 3S. And yeah, it's an incredible controller, and it has all the features and functions that it would with a Mavic 4 Pro. So if you guys are, wanting to get a little bit of piece of the pie here, one of the things I suggest, maybe looking getting the RC Pro 2 at a place like Adorama or B&H. Okay. For the Mavic 4 Pro, I'm waiting. Okay. And that's my suggestion to all of you. Yeah. You don't want to buy. Yeah. Casey Crime Fighter. Exactly. You want to do this the right way. Okay. And I want to do it the right way. And the right way is getting it purchased directly from DJI in this instance. Nobody else.
That's kind of, been my feelings. I don't really want to buy black. I hate to say black market. It's not really black market, but I hate to buy. I hate the thought of buying a black market drone. It's not really black market, but you know what I mean, Bill.
I know exactly what you mean. We're going to move on here and talk about the Mini 5 Pro. And, we're getting more and more and more information on it. And I found an article out on Tech EDT. And I want to go over this article first. And then there's another article that I want to share with all of you.
Let me answer Drone Shots' question. He said, can you get just the drone? I haven't seen the Mavic 4 Pro be offered just as a drone yet. Have you, Bill?
No. It comes at the bare minimum with a battery and the controller.
So, the RC2 controller.
The RC2. Now, this Tech EDT talks about the Mini 5 Pro may feature better battery and longer range. Expected to come with a 33.5 watt-hour battery, big step up from Mini 4 Pro's 18.9 watt-hour, the extra power to help you fly longer without stopping to recharge. And they're also talking about an Avata 3 and Neo 2 seen in a new leaked video. The Avata 3, which would follow the current Avata 2, seems to have a different battery placement. Battery sits further back on the drone. The camera up front looks larger. You may also notice the props. The Avata 3 seems to have 4-blade props, while the Avata 2 had a 3-blade setup. The Osmo Nano may be a new wearable camera. Okay. So this article from Tech EDT. Now we're going to move on here. And I want to share this other article out here from High Kesteloo from Drone DJ. Or from Drone XL. So hang on a second here. Okay. Leaked DJI Mini 5, Avata 3, and Neo 2. These 5 new DJI products coming up here, okay? And we're seeing some pictures of these out in the wild right here. DJI Mini 5 Pro, and there's some pictures of it out in the wild. And there's a close-up of it right there. Mini 5 Pro, and this is the FCC filing, which when that happens, it's usually indicates it's weeks away, okay? It's not going to be months. It's going to be weeks. It's not going to, it's my guess for something like this, and just an educated guess, probably mid to late summer is something like this will be coming out. Is that's just Mini 5 Pro and official FCC filings. The whopping 4860 milliamp hours is a huge upgrade from the Mini 4 Pro, 2960 milliamp hours. Battery's giving the Mini 4 a stable 30 minutes of flight time. So it's probably going to have about 45 minutes of flight time. That's one thing that we can garner out of all this. Highly doubts this still can become another sub 250 gram drone. Bigger camera, bulkier design, a 30% increase of battery power. It's almost impossible. Last on the Mini 5, the timing of the FCC filing seems a bit weird to me. I was pretty convinced Mini 5 is set for September and not July or August. Is DJI rushing things again? And then, of course, they're talking about the Avata 3 and the leak that they have on that. And there are some pictures of it out in the wild.
And the Neo is the other drone you can't see in that shot. Go back a little bit. See, the Neo is that other. Yeah, there's the Neo too.
That's the Neo 2, and there's the Avata 3 right there.
It has something taped on the top of it. That's why it looks odd.
Yeah, the Avata 3 will have the same form factor as the Avata 2. Camera sensors improved and a larger gimbal can reach further up, implying the drone can also fly faster. Battery placement has moved further back, creating more room for the nested camera, making it possible to remove the orange bumpers, which the Avata 2 had. Last but not least, DJI has finally switched to a 4-blade propeller setup, creating a more powerful and efficient FPV and experience. DJI Neo 2 hiding in plain sight. Everybody's looking at the Avata 3 in the leak photo above. I noticed something else about the little Neo with 2 strapped batteries on its back, because the little thing in the left-hand corner of the video, ladies and gentlemen, is not a regular Neo. It's a Neo 2, and we just talked about that. And there it is with tape on it right there. Osmo Nano action. Another exciting news, we learned DJI is also continuing their attack on the action cam market. The Osmo 360 info recently got leaked and registered once again with foreign databases, and yesterday found something interesting, FCC filings of a new DJI Action 2 successor called the DJI Osmo Nano here. FCC filing reminds me of the Action 2, which was released nearly 4 years ago. The smallest DJI action camera had a lot of overheating problems and was discontinued soon after. You can still buy it, but it wasn't a huge success. Even though DJI apparently decided they wanted to have another go at it and patented the trademark Osmo Nano for wearable camera on February 20th, 2025 in FCC filings. Osmo Nano release, DJI Mic 3 and Osmo 360 is also expected. Sadly, no date can be set for any of these products. It's not rare for a DJI product to go missing these days, and Osmo products are different company line. Tend to take at least 6 months to an FCC notification and actual release, okay? Leak expectations for coming months. For those saving up their money to buy the Avata 3, Neo 2, I'm afraid you have to be patient. With only leaks showing a prototype, it could take a month or maybe 2 or 3 before we can expect a teaser, trailer, speculation of leaks, okay? Now we're going to go on. There's one more article, and then we're going to talk about things here.
Anthony asked a good question. Chad, he said, any of this new DJI drones are going to be available in US? We're going to get to that in a second once Bill covers his last article. Yeah.
DJI Mini 5 Pro FCC documents reveal upgraded radio and antenna system for enhanced range. This is some good information. From the drone's improved transmission capability, setting a stage for an anticipated September launch. Okay, and again, this information is contained in these documents here, and you have to do deep dives on the FCC database, but you can find this information out. A revamped antenna system for the Mini 5 Pro, integrating multiple transmission components into its compact frame. Upgrade builds on the Mini 4 Pro's communication setup, offering high-end multi-band radio configuration. IEE 802.11 BGN and modulation types, including DSSS, CCK, and 64 QAM. These enhancements, paired with improved signal processing, enable stable video transmission over long distance while keeping the drone under 249 grams. The upgraded radio system is designed to support a rumored transmission range of up to 25 kilometers, 15.5 miles, a notable leap for a drone in this weight class. This addresses a common limitation of ultra-compact drones where connectivity often falters at extended distances. For professional users, such as aerial photographers and surveyors, this means more reliable long-range flights with consistent signal quality. Jasper Ellens previously predicted the Mini 5 Pro will bring pro-level features to the mini drone category, and the leaked antenna system details seem to back that up. The radio system documents and revealed DJI managed to fit advanced transmission tech into a lightweight frame without losing the drone's regulatory impact. Implication for flight performance and market position. It talks about the battery power here, industry context, and competitive edge. DJI faces increasing competition in the sub-250 drone market. Timing these documents months before the confirmed September 2025 launch indicate DJI is deep into testing and refinement. Sources like Hakasushi on X have corroborated the launch timeline with credibility of the rollout schedule. For enthusiasts and professionals, Mini 5 Pro enhanced connectivity and lightweight design make it strong intended for both recreational and commercial use, such as real estate photography and environmental monitoring. Okay, we're going to kind of hold it right there. And I know we just had a question about this, and I kind of, Anthony, and that's a great question. One of the things, we have no idea about availability, none, since what they did with the Mavic 5 Pro or with the Mavic 4 Pro, we don't know. And
right. If DJI is not going to sell the Mavic 4 Pro in the U.S., why they're going to change their mind in a month or two and sell the Mini 5 Pro in the U.S.?
Yeah, but when this supposedly is going to be coming out in December, we don't know. We absolutely don't know, to tell you the truth on this. One of the things that we can tell you is, from what we're seeing here with all this information, this is going to be a significant upgrade from the Mini 4 Pro.
And Bill, many speculate that this will no longer be under 249 gram drone with this 1-inch sensor that's rumored, with this 50-some minute battery life that's rumored. They think that this thing will be pushed over the 250 gram mark, and the under 250 gram mark will be now the Flip and the Neo.
Exactly.
And then it'll become something else. That's all rumor and speculation.
And Ron brings up a good point here, because, you know, as they're adding features on to the Mini 5 Pro, realize features equal weight, okay? And, you know, it's going to have, it sounds like, an improved transmission system, which means a better range. It's going to have better runtime on it, which means a better battery. And a better battery is going to be way more, okay? That's going to be natural. If you're going to have a bigger camera on there, that's naturally going to be more as well, too.
Another big rumor is will have stronger motors, which means they'll be better in the wind. And that's been the Achilles heels of many main drones. You can't take them out in a real windy day. And I mean, for somebody like me, I'm Part 107. Every flight I do, all my drones are registered. I'm flying Part 107 all the time. The advantages of under 250 gram main drone mean nothing for me.
Exactly. Because, you know, when you're going on
with remote ID and you know, and my drones are all registered.
Yeah, and when you're going out on a shoot, Ron, you're not going to be taking a Mini 4 Pro anyway. You're going to be taking your Air 3S or your Mavic 3, something like that. Okay.
Of course, possibly a Mini 5 Pro with a 1-inch sensor could become more of a work drone.
That's true, and especially like you said, especially, you know, and this, we're just speculating here. And one of the things, I think Ron kind of touched on it, if it's going to have more powerful motors, that's a great indication that it's going to be able to go up when it's a much windier day, like an Air 3S can be able to handle that, or a Mavic 3 Pro can handle that. It's going to be the same kind of genre. So, you know, go think along those lines with something like that. And I would also, too, and I'm going to go out on a limb and just speculate as well, too, that the RC Pro 2 is going to work with like a Mini 5 Pro. All right. I think
that's a good question, Bill. Sometimes when the new minis or the airs come out, they move to a new OcuSync. Like say, in this case, it'd be OcuSync 5, which would render them not to be able to fly on that new controller. Do you think they'll purposely hold OcuSync 5 back for another year so these new drones will work on with the new RC Pro 2?
I think so. I think so. I think DJI wants to make that. They really hit the nail on the head with this, because all the reviews I've seen about the RC Pro 2 have been very positive. I mean, I've watched a lot of them just on the RC Pro 2 itself, and it's been very positive. People have had a lot of great things to say about it, especially working with the Mini 4 Pro and with the Air 3S. People have really liked that capability. I mean, you know, it does everything, like I said, it does everything it's supposed to do with the Mavic 4 Pro, with the Air 3S, and with the Air 3S.
Both Air 3 and Air 3S, both.
Exactly, Air 3 and Air 3S. So, you know, I would say right now, you know, that would be something that you would want to be keen on.
And Bill, I know they're going to disagree with you in the chat here, but OcuSync 4 is so good that I really don't need OcuSync 5 anytime soon or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying better signal is always good, but I'd rather wait for OcuSync 5 and have more drones work on my current controllers.
Yes, I agree. That's a good point, Ron. That's a real good point. You know, with this, okay, and they're talking about a September release here. I thought it was going to be earlier, you know, based on, you know, these filings coming out and things like this. And remember, we're at the end of May right now, so that's June, July, August. That's 3 months before supposedly, you know, they would be coming out with something like this. So kind of stay tuned. You know, we'll keep our ear to the ground and keep you guys posted on updates. You know, and again, you guys know the drill. You know, the more we get into this, you know, as weeks go by, there's going to be things come out. Jasper and Igor are going to post things, and we'll stay on top of that. But I think for now, I mean, we've kind of got a pretty good handle on a lot of things here. We know it's going to have an improved battery life, which know it's going to have improved range on it already. And with that, you know, we're surmising things like a better obstacle avoidance system, better motors on it, better camera system on it as well too. With hopefully a 1-inch sensor. You know, and with that, you know, the sacrifice is it's probably not going to fit the 249 gram,
and may not be the what we consider the affordable drone for. Bill, before we go on too far, we got a question here in the chat from FTFO Media, and he's asked about the RC Pro, which we just got done talking about. He says, does it have a waterproof IP rating like the DJI Plus controller? Bill, is the DJI Plus controller the enterprise controller?
Yeah, I think that's the enterprise controller. Yeah. FTFO Media. That's a great question.
Yeah. I had no idea whether the Pro 2 has any type of waterproof rating. I'd
have to look into that.
I never saw that anybody's review or nobody's ever mentioned that.
That's a good, and thanks for bringing that up, Ron, and thanks for FTFO for bringing that up as well. I don't know. I've watched a lot of reviews on it. Nobody's really kind of talked about that as far as a waterproof rating is concerned. So that's something, you know.
Bill, as you always said, just ping DJI support on Twitter and ask them that question.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and this is a general thing for all you guys out there. You can always ask support@dji.com. Send them an email if you have a question on things like that.
Especially a question, especially a black and white question like that. If you ask them some vague question like, when does the Mini 5 Pro come out? They're not going to get a much of a response. But if you ask a black and white question like, is something waterproof, they can handle that.
Exactly. Be specific when you ask them your questions, okay? So, you know, because, you know, right now, if you're going to ask them, when's the Mavic 4 Pro coming out in the United States, you're going to get a canned answer. You know,
right.
You don't want it. You don't be doing that.
You're going to get the PR department answer.
Exactly. You're going to get an answer that's already, they'll cut and paste it and just drop it in the chat. Okay.
Right.
You know,
but a question like whether a controller is waterproof or not, that will get you a real answer.
Yeah, exactly. And that would be something I would do. That's how I would look for an answer like that. And that's something I would suggest you do as well. It's support@dji.com. It's real easy to get out there and get that.
Yeah. Bill, another good comment. Fly Guy Merrill saying that I'm running out of faith that DJI releases in the US. I'm with you, Fly Guy.
Yep.
I'm running a little low on faith too, whether any of these products we just talked about will be released anytime soon to the US market. I'm not being pessimistic. I'm just going on what's happening right now, and kind of has happened over the past couple of months with poor availability of DJI products. If you go to their website, a poor availability on Amazon, poor availability on Best Buy. It's a kind of a pattern, Bill.
Yeah, it's it's not easy to buy an Air 3S right now. You can still buy Mini 4 Pro is still available.
It's not too available from DJI themselves. I think only the highest kits available, and even the Air 3S you can only buy the Flybore combo. A lot of these kits, the base kits are unavailable even from DJI.
Yeah, and for looking for the Air 3S, you really kind of need to go to Adorama or B&H or Amazon if they have them available and in stock. Those would be the places that I would suggest that you go to be able to get them right now. If you're looking to get them,
and that's hit or miss.
Yeah, because
hey, how about Richard put a comment here? Boycott DJI. Well, I don't have to boycott them. I can't buy anything anyways.
Can't buy anything anyways right now. So they're boycotting themselves. And I think,
and KC Crime Fighter, you can barely find DJI anywhere in America right now. And if you do, like, you better hit the buy button the second you see it or whatever. Well, Marcus and Richard both took your advice and bought the Anorama, RC Pro 2 controller last week or right after Johnny's show for $12.99 after Anorama. So they bought it, purchased it, and then a couple hours later they get a notification it's already on back order. So they both canceled their order. So even if you buy something that says it's in stock, the order goes on back order hours later. So there's almost no, Bill, there's no one reliable method I could tell to anybody to get any of the recent DJI products for sure right now. I don't mean next week or you have to wake up in the middle of the night. Right now, I can't tell anybody any way they can go out and buy a product for sure from DJI right now.
Exactly.
You have to get lucky. You have to stand on your head and have a rabbit's foot and then hope it's available for 2 minutes and put the order in.
Now, I went out tonight and I looked. The Mini 4K is out on Amazon. It's on sale right now. And that's available.
But that product are probably already sitting in Amazon warehouses.
Right. That's been sitting there for a while. The Mini 4 Pro is out on Amazon and available as well too. I do know that. I also know the Mavic 3 and the Mavic 3 Pro. Well, the Mavic 3 Pro is out there as well too. I did see some of those. So, Amazon would be, I would suggest if you're out on a hunt for things, go to Amazon first. That would be probably one of your best places to look for it. Then try places like Adorama.
Even a lot of DJI products on Amazon are no longer sold by Amazon themselves or DJI. They're sold by third-party vendors. And they typically mark the price up. Okay,
and to answer, the recovery one's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Dr. Tad, to answer your question, okay, what I know is this is I believe what happens now, influencers used to get them in exchange for a review from DJI. Of course, you had to sign a non-disclosure agreement and you were bound to that. And you really couldn't say anything until release. All right. What happens now, and this is, and if Dobo, if you're on tonight or anybody, an influencer is on, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe what happens is, you pay, they may be paying like 50% of the cost of the drone. You get or a substantial discount on it. I believe.
But to answer maybe his question on past drones, though, they have received free drones where they didn't have to compensate them anyways. And that's been the pattern for a while, that they just get the drone put in a review. But that's unusual in this type of business. Camera reviews. I mean, people are reviewing, real Sony, Canon, Nikon cameras. The reviewers typically get the camera for a certain period, like say a month, and then they have to send the camera on to another reviewer. So the drones are a little bit different from other technology where you said you're reviewing it onto another reviewer when you're finished with it.
And Ron brings up a great point, because in the ham radio world, it's kind of the same way. You know, you'll get a unit sent to you either from like Yaesu or ICOM, and then you either have to send it back to the store that sent it to you, or you send it on to another reviewer. Okay, you don't get to keep that. You know, and what's real interesting in the ham radio world, a lot of the reviews that you see out there, people are buying them. I mean, anything that I've reviewed on my ham radio channel, I've purchased. Okay, you know, I'll say this, with the exception of some little handheld radios that I've gotten for free for reviews that are like under $100. You know, everything I bought. I mean, you know, my big radio, I bought that. It's lock, stock, and barrel. Antenna system, everything. Okay, so that's kind of the way things are with that. And that's I hope we answered your question, Dr. Ted, with that.
Yeah, and the DJI drones have been so good, even if you had to pay for it as a reviewer, pay half of a reviewer, what you would still pay it because you'd buy the drone anyways. Most of the big time reviewers, they bought their own drones before they got into the review program. So they were used to buying drones. So paying for half, going back, paying for half, they're still going to do it for the most part. Well, why wouldn't you buy a Mavic 4 Pro at half off?
Exactly. You know, and you have to realize they have larger channels, and they have income streams and things like that. And, you know, a lot of these guys, you know, like Billy, that's what he does for a living. Okay.
A certain amount of videos may pay the 50% off for them.
Exactly. You know, so yeah, that's kind of lets you know how things work with them. You know, it's not solely, it was, say, 5 years ago, it was at the point where they would send you a drone in exchange. You would do so many review videos per the non-disclosure agreement, and sign a non-disclosure agreement with them too. But now it's to the point where, you know, they'll give you a substantial discount on the drone. That's kind of how these things work. Yeah. And that's how it works for these channels. Yeah.
A large part of the audience, though, they worry that people that get drones for free or 50% off, they don't give you like an honest review or whatever. And I'm not weighing in one way or the other on that topic, but you hear that a lot, that they like to see reviews of people that pay for the drone themselves. Because they're not bound, you know, by anything if for people purchase their own money. That's some people's thought. I'm not saying that's mine, but
Ron makes a good point right there. You know, and for me, okay, I take everything in. Okay, I take the ones, I look at Russ, I look at Billy's, I look at Ken's, and other ones who have gotten it, you know, and I watch all their reviews, you know, and then I'll look for other ones who bought them on their own and look at their reviews and what they would have.
And see if there's any radical difference in what they're saying.
Right. And you know, for the most part, I have to say this, and this is a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. I haven't really seen a discernible difference between reviews from Billy and Ken and Russ and others versus ones who have purchased them on their own and are not attached or affiliated with DJI. So, you know, so that has a tendency to say that what they're saying is the real deal with these drones. That's kind of like where things are.
Hey, Bill, maybe you could help Oren out in the chat here. Oren says, don't forget about the ND filters that the Mavic 4 is missing at the moment. Yet that electronic ND filter is not even acknowledged by DJI, but they're supposedly going to have an electronic ND filter. It did not come out. But I saw on Amazon already that I know Starter RC has ND filters for the Mavic 4 already, and I heard FreeWalls are coming out soon. So you can already buy third-party ND filters for the Mavic 4 Pro on Amazon now. I don't know how quick they're shipping. Sometimes there's a little delay in the shipping because they're new, but they are available, or just not in the box from DJI.
Well, and thank you for bringing that up, Ron. One of the other things that I was going to mention was with the Mavic 4 Pro, as far as as far as I was concerned, was I was contacted by my rep from Lycus, who makes the cases, and he wanted to know if I wanted one. And I told him, I said, well, I live in the United States. I said, I'd take it, but, you know, I can review an empty case if you want. And he said, well, let me know when you get one and I'll send you one. So that's kind of where things are with that. I mean, you know, they're available. He said I could buy one if I wanted to. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to buy one. I mean, keep sending to me to review. But that's where that's at. I mean, he offered, and I looked at the case, and the case, it's a Lycus makes great cases. I'm thoroughly sold on them. So that's kind of where things are. So that's kind of where things are right now with everything. You know, just
Yeah.
Kind of
Cases
like,
are no problem in the US. You can buy all the Mavic 4 cases you want in the US. You just can't get the drone.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, you know, and I hope, I hope you take all this information in and process this yourself. We're wanting to give you, especially with the Mavic 4 Pro, the best advice out there, because none of us has ever been faced with this situation before. I mean,
Right.
what, I've been doing this for 7 or 8 years, same for Ron and Marcus. And, we haven't seen anything like this. Okay. This
Yeah,
is
and
something.
we're definitely not telling you not to buy from the South Korean people or those sources, because apparently, again, forget the gentleman's name already. He bought one. There's no issues. So some people have bought them and had no issues. So I can't say that not do it. All I can say is maybe I won't do it.
Right. And that was Zach who bought it. Yeah. Yeah.
Zach, yeah.
So, if you want to do that, and that's why I read that message that I got from that seller on eBay, just to let you know and to keep you informed about, DJI's global warranty is not covered under this. Okay. They're covering it themselves. So you do have that. And they said care refresh. Well, we found out, no, you're not really going to have the option of care refresh. So the best, and then I think somebody dropped in the chat, I think Eddie Nunez dropped in the chat, State Farm is not going to cover your DJI Mavic 4 Pro that you buy overseas. So you're kind of like,
Oh, really? They're that on top of things that they know that? Wow.
yeah, I mean, it would be like, buying it at your own risk. I mean, if you're going to spend, $2,500, $3,000 for that drone, like I said, all right, my best suggestion
You
for
better be
all of
real
you
careful with that thing, Bill.
who want to get this is just sit back and wait, okay? Because, and I know we've talked about this before, sooner rather than later, there's a lot of money that DJI is missing out on in the American market, specifically in the United States. Okay. I know Lauren has said, we're not the largest consumer of drones, purchasers of drones in the world, but I got to think we're right up there. Okay. In terms of how many drones that we purchase from this country and the business that DJI does. And, I know with everything we just said about that, okay, DJI's made a decision, and that's their business decision based on this point in time. But I think that's going to change, and I think it's going to change because I think economics are going to change. I think the whole ball of wax is going to change, and it's going to become favorable again for DJI to just say, you know what, we're going to sell them in the United States. All right, so it's going to happen. Do I know when? No, I don't. I don't have a crystal ball. I heard June 1st, but that was just a rumor. So who knows? Okay. But
And
keep
June
your ear
1st
to
is
the ground.
June 1st this weekend, right?
Yeah. June 1st is coming up. That's next weekend. So we'll keep our ears to the ground. Watch us. We'll if we hear anything, we'll pass it on to you as soon as we can.
Nothing will surprise us.
Exactly. Nothing will surprise us. I mean, like we said, this is a unique situation. This has never happened before, since we've been doing this for 7 or 8 years. So stay tuned. It's new to you. It's new to us. And we're navigating through all of this. So that's where we're at. Any closing thoughts, Ron?
No, I think we covered a lot of ground tonight, and I'm just glad to see you back streaming again, Bill. You're doing well. I know it's going to be a long journey before you're completely back to normal eating and all that, but so it seems like you're making great progress, and glad to see it. And I want to thank everybody for joining us in chat and all the great comments, and close it out, Bill.
Exactly. And thank you, Ron. One of the things that I wanted to say with all that is, again, thank you all who have reached out to me during this time. It's really made a big world of difference for me. I'm still, I'm a little more tired than I've normally been, and still trying to catch up on some sleep and some things, and, feeling something in my mouth for the first time in years. It's kind of like foreign, and it's a little
weird
different.
feeling. Yeah.
And it's a weird feeling, and having to eat differently as well too. I mean, it's just a lot to process, and I'm trying to take it one day at a time. Good news is I've lost 7 pounds already, so I haven't even tried. So that's kind of a good thing. But I want to thank you all for everything. You guys have all been great. As always, guys, it's a great day to fly. Take care. Have a great rest of your week.